Recently, longtime subscriber Tom McAuliffe asked why his book was showing up on Amazon through a third-party seller at a way higher price than his list price. Furthermore, what are authors supposed to do when they see something like this? First of all, thanks for the great question, and believe it or not, I've got this question many times over the years, and usually my answer is the same every time, but, and this is a big but, it's not always a simple answer actually. Here's the issue, and it's twofold. You've got to stick with me on this because the first issue is pretty clear to spot. The second issue is a bit trickier. Tom published his print book through Draft Digital for distribution to the Amazon Marketplace in December of 2022. Now, in July of 2023, he discovered third-party sellers on Amazon selling his book for a higher price. Now, are sellers allowed to sell your book on Amazon? Well, yes. If so, do they cannibalize your book sales? Well, yes and no. For one, in order for a third-party seller to sell your book on Amazon, they must first obtain a copy, meaning they need to buy it through you or through a wholesale distributor like Ingram Book Group. Oddly enough, Ingram fulfills print orders for KDP's expanded distribution. Ingram is also in charge of print fulfillment for Draft Digital. See where I'm going here? Can I say for sure that these sellers are getting wholesale access through Ingram? No. In fact, quite a few probably aren't even allowed that access. So how are these sellers able to list your book without buying it? Well, that's the thing. They don't have to have that stock on hand. Here's my theory, and I'm sure I could be wrong in many regards. The seller posts the book at a higher price in hopes of duping unwitting Amazon customers into buying the book from their listing and not the author's. If they do get the sale, they can simply get the order from Amazon and then send it to their customer. Usually they'll charge a higher rate for the title to compensate for their time, or they tack on the shipping and handling charge that'll further compensate them. And we could even theorize they used Amazon Prime as a way to drop ship orders to customers, leaving them with all the profit from the shipping and handling fees, with the excess cost being the icing on the cake, of course. Is this right? I'm sure it's certainly debatable. I don't like it. Not a fan of it. I don't want these sellers on my listing. But there are some sellers out there who truly do have a used copy of your title and are running a legit business model that doesn't prey on hapless Amazon customers. It's the next issue that more authors need to pay closer attention to: pirated print books. Some third-party sellers are there to make an even quicker buck by removing the middleman, you. How do they do it? Simply by getting their hands on your manuscript by hook or crook. Whether they're photocopying your print book or stealing the ebook version to distribute as a print book, they'll do anything necessary to bilk Amazon for as much money as they can in as short a time as possible. In some instances, they're only duplicating the cover and throwing just about any old trash on the inside. Will these book pirates focus on smaller authors? It's certainly debatable. I don't know. If they see a book is selling well, they're more apt to target it, I'm sure. And since Amazon doesn't do a better job of scrutinizing who sells on their platform, a few bad actors will slip through. So how do you identify if your book is being targeted by book pirates? Well, you could check your product page every day until you die, or you use a free resource to notify you of any unusual activities. In the case of Tom, he could have discovered this weird discrepancy much sooner had he used a tool called Reader Scout. This free browser extension works threefold. Number one, it notifies you about any price changes to your book. Number two, it notifies you about any new reviews. And number three, it tells you your up-to-date follower count. And Reader Scout provides this information every 24 hours. When you see a new tag over the icon in your browser, you know you've got news from them. The latter option of follower count isn't going to help identify book piracy. It's simply a nice-to-have feature that saves you from having to log into your Amazon Author Central account. Side note, if you want to see your follower count on Amazon, simply log into your Amazon Author Central account, select the Reports and Marketing tab, and scroll down to see your active follower count. Save yourself all the time and clicks, just use Reader Scout instead. It's the first two features of Reader Scout that make the most difference in smoking out any ne'er-do-wells. When you see a price change on your book, it lets you know either Amazon's price matching another site, discounting to sell more books, or it's just a straight-up glitch. Or the big one, if a third-party seller has come into the mix. The second feature of book review notifications is so that you can spot an unexpectedly low review for your book. If historically your book has had high marks, then you get a slew of new reviews that say its formatting is messed up, or the printing is off, or the book isn't even what they ordered. You might be dealing with a book pirate. What do you do with this information then? Now, according to the Kindlepreneur's article about book scams on Amazon, if you see the price on your ebook or paperback and not one sold by a third party has raised or lowered its price, it's probably Amazon. If you're unsure, it's still worth contacting Amazon to verify and to correct the problem if it was a glitch. However, if you see the seller is listing the book as used, you probably don't have as much to worry about. They're probably doing the scheme I mentioned earlier. Don't ignore it though, because it might also be part of what I mentioned next. If the seller is listing it as new, they probably overtook your listing, and that will impact your sales. Check any third-party seller for their past history by clicking on their name. Amazon will send you to their store so you can find out if they have any feedback. If they're a new seller with no feedback, you're probably dealing with some sketchy folks. The next step sounds silly that you'd even have to do it, but order your book through them. Once you get it, compare it to your version. You'll know if it's your book or not. There are many telltale signs based on the quality difference. What comes next then? Report it to Amazon KDP when you visit the Contact Us link in the bottom of your dashboard. Then select Content and Rights Notifications and then report copyright infringement. If you're using a different platform to distribute your books on Amazon, you can either contact that platform for guidance or use Amazon Author Central support to report the issue. We can all agree, having your book pirated is not anything anyone wants to deal with, but when presented with it, simply rolling over isn't an option. But the more we can build awareness around this issue, the sooner we can resolve this issue plaguing the Amazon marketplace. Will they ever be gone for good? Well, it remains to be seen, but for now, this is the hand we've been dealt, so let's make the best of it, and let's try to eliminate the issue the best that we can. If you found this video helpful, share it with another author who'd find it useful too. In the meantime, check out this previous video where I shared 4 stories about scams and self-publishing and how to avoid the same issues, or catch this video where Dave Chesson gives deeper insights on Reader Scout. I'll see you there.